Romance scam is when you meet somebody online, they pretend to be somebody else, and they work to make you fall in love with them in order to steal money or have you launder money for them.
We're talking about romance scams. The Federal Trade Commission says even before COVID hit, a 40% spike last year led to $200 million in losses.
So these scams are not new. Like, this scam actually started, and these scammers used to send mail out. So like back before the internet was popular, they used to actually send letters to your house, and they were the Nigerian print scams that you've heard of in the past and that we all make fun of, but they work. They still work today. And they evolved to email and then AOL Instant Messenger, and then they evolved to social networks, and then dating sites, and now these apps too. And so it's just evolving with technology. These scams have been around for 35, 40 years plus, and they just have evolved as technology's evolved.
The only thing I could figure out is go online to a dating site. I ended up on OkCupid, and that started the whole fun time.
He needed to pay rent for the place he was staying. Evans was getting bored. Could I send iTunes gift cards?
And in a place like Africa, for example, if you were to get $1,000, you could live on that for the entire month and live well for an entire month. And so if these scammers get $50 or $250, that's a lot of money to them. So first off, anybody can be scammed. We have hundreds of thousands of people that have messaged us and sent us messages, and we've heard their stories. We've had millions of people every month come to our site. What we've seen, the people that are more susceptible to these scams are people that are like depressed or widowed.
And my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 glioblastoma, which is from the get-go, it's a terminal brain cancer.
I was married to my husband, Paul, who was an active duty service member. He passed away while on active duty from cancer about 2.5 years ago.
Imagine getting married at, say, 25 years old, right? And being married for 25, 30 years. And then your spouse is there every single day. You wake up, you talk to them, you go hang out with your friends together, and you have this incredible life. And all of a sudden they're gone. And you don't have that person to talk to. And you have lots of friends, but you don't have that person you're waking up to every single day. And so what we hear a lot from these people is like they're depressed, they're widowed, they're just in a vulnerable situation where they go talk to somebody and this person's sweeping them off their feet, and they're nice to them and they're saying kind things to them. And they ignore a lot of these signs because they haven't had that person in their life, or because they're missing this person, or because they haven't been talked to that way in a long time. And so these are the people that are hurt the most with these scams. Last year, there was $200 million that was lost to online scams. These scams are set up very similar to a pyramid scheme. There's a guy at the top that's filtering down and feeding information to other people. These people give the guy at the top a percentage, and he helps them, or other people help them distribute money, get access to money, understand the processes, get scripts. And so what they do is there's usually this boss finds younger people, and they're typically like 17 to 21 years old. And he gives them everything they need. He'll give them a script, he'll walk them through the process, tell them how they do it, and help them find pictures to use to scam people. And these people are literally copying and pasting these scripts and trying to find as many victims as they can. And these poor people that they grow up and their parents work really hard and they're still poor, and they don't have electricity 24 hours a day, or maybe they don't get paid even though they do their job. It's just a corrupt country, that a lot of these people, these scammers are out of. And so they're promised this like amazing life by scamming other people, and they literally call their victims their clients, and that's how they look at these people.
These guys are living extravagant lifestyles, and it's appealing to younger kids growing up in these poor neighborhoods. They look at these pictures and don't see a bad guy. They see a wealthy man on private jets with the world at their fingertips.
It's the flashy life. It's kind of like what we see here in the United States, where you have the rapper lifestyle, right? Where they're wearing the gold chains and driving the nice cars, and they have the hot women. And it's kind of that very similar lifestyle over where a lot of these scams originate from, so like Europe, or a lot of them are out of Africa, but they're all over the world.
Here's an example of the types of lifestyles these guys at the top live. Last year, this guy was extradited to the United States for allegedly being part of a scam enterprise. When he was caught, police say they recovered $40 million in cash, 13 luxury cars, 21 computers, 47 smartphones, and nearly 2 million alleged victims. Here is Mr. Woodbury's custom Richard Mille watch worth over $150,000. Here's him next to his private jet and wrath. This is just a day in the life for these guys. Mr. Woodbury has been released after being found non-culpable for the money laundering and internet fraud allegations.
You can get some of your money back. A lot of people don't. They think once they get money, that's it, right? You have to be diligent in order to get some of your money back, or we've even heard people getting all their money back. It doesn't happen all the time, but you have to report it. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to go to your local police. You have to go to the FBI. You have to go to the Internet Crime Complaint Center if you've lost money. You have to go to your bank and report it if you wired money through your bank. If you've sent Bitcoin, go to Coinbase or wherever you sent Bitcoin through and show them the police report. We've heard of people actually having money deposited back into their account from these scammers' accounts because the scammer either had money in there or left money in there. Report it to iTunes. Sometimes, every once in a while, these scammers leave footprints that lead back to them. And those footprints allow them to get caught or allow you to get some of your money back. And so don't just be embarrassed and be like, you know what, I lost $10,000 or $500 or $50,000 or $100,000. Go after it and work hard to try to get some of that money back and report it. At minimum, it's going to put it on the FBI's radar. And if anybody else has had a similar situation, there's an opportunity for the people behind this to get caught.
The people in Lagos, Nigeria, love their country, but they feel that they have been abandoned by the government. Africa has 16% of the world's population, but only 1% of the world's wealth. 42% of the country's wealth is held by billionaires. These rich people in Africa put their money in tax havens. There is a lot of money that leaves the country, but no one is saying anything about it.